Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Mass Minutes with Melissa. This is the 18th Sunday in Ordinary Time, and I'm excited to share with you today the Gospel reading from Matthew, chapter 14, verses 13 through 21. I love this Gospel reading, and you've probably heard it before. The other exciting thing is that this isn't all 4 Gospel readings. We're going to read about a miracle that Jesus performs, and all 4 of the Gospel readers have presented this story in about the same manner. So we know this to be so true. So this Gospel reading, I'm going to read it to you because I think it is just a nice, simple Gospel reading that will help you to think through our discussion afterwards, but also just to let you hear God's word. This happens right after Jesus finds out that his cousin John has died. So he is feeling sad and he's grieving the loss of his dear friend. And then this passage takes place. When Jesus heard of it, he withdrew in a boat to a deserted place by himself. The crowds heard this and followed him on foot from their towns. When he disembarked and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, and he cured their sick. When it was evening, the disciples approached him and said, "This is a deserted place, and it is already late. Dismiss the crowds so that they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." Jesus said to them, "There is no need for them to go away. Give them some of your food yourselves." But they said to him, 5 loaves and 2 fishes are all we have here." Then he said, "Bring them here to me." And he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he said the blessing, broke the loaves, and gave them to the disciples, who in turn gave them to the crowds. They all ate and were satisfied. And they picked up the fragments that were left over, 12 wicker baskets full. Those who ate were about 5,000 men, not counting women and children. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being in the crowds at that time and not only witnessing Jesus healing the sick, but then performing this huge miracle of multiplying the loaves and the fishes to feed so many thousands of people? Think of a baseball stadium full of people. That's how many Jesus fed. 5,000 men, plus all the women and children. That's a lot of people, but not too many for Jesus. The other thing I love about this gospel reading is how it sounds a lot like what we hear at Mass when the priest is acting as Jesus and performing the miracle of the Eucharist. He took the bread, he broke it, gave it to his disciples. It's foreshadowing to the Last Supper, which brings us to our Mass. So beautiful. This passage reading, we need to think about what we have and be thankful for that. It may seem small, like the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. It might not be a lot in our eyes, but we can take what we have, offer it to God and say thank you, and let him work the miracles with us. We need to be thankful for all that we have. We need to thank him most of all. We also learn from this Bible passage that we need to share what is given. So the disciples gathered that small amount of food, and then after Jesus blessed it, shared it with others. What do you have in your life that you could share with others? Could you make a meal and take it to a neighbor? Maybe you know somebody who just had surgery or a baby. Maybe somebody who's not feeling well. You and your family could take them a meal Maybe you are an artist and you have been drawing and creating lots of beautiful works. Why not share those with a neighbor or someone that's older that you know? You could drop it off at their door and they could find it. How special would that be? So this week, I want you to do two things. I want you to give thanks to God for all that you have, no matter how little it is. Thank Him. And two, I want you to find something that you have in your life that you can share with others. And then I want you to tell me about it in the comments. Share your great ideas with all of us here in this group so that we can take those ideas and share them with others. God bless.